anything on the YouTube end of it or not. I'm pulling that up now.
Have our stream up just in case.
I'm going to comment in the chat that we're going live.
That looks stupid. Oh, my chain's out.
You got like 4 of them.
Yeah. Only bring one
I
out.
think we're live.
Oh,
That we're going
good.
live. We are live.
Oh, we are. I just got the notification.
All right. Oh,
Awesome, yep.
mine's buffering a bit.
All right.
Let me just switch where this is and where that is. All right, so we are live.
That looks stupid.
So, we'll give people a moment to join.
Yeah.
I will share it again, of course.
Anybody is still breathing after that one.
Yeah. The game, the Huskies,
My goodness.
they were down as many as 14 in the first half, and they came back and won. I forget how high the lead got. It might have been 6.
I think
maybe.
it was 14 was their largest.
Well, they're largest. I think how high we got it.
8.
8 maybe. Yeah.
4, yeah, ours was 8, theirs was 14. They showed it like at the end. That's how the only reason I know.
That's not something I expect us to do in Omaha. To be
No.
especially
Not
with
at
our
all.
situation. Haas is non-existent.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I mean, got out of it without him, so I mean, it gives them time to heal up a little bit. But
It
Yeah,
was weird. I
definitely.
mean, we were just talking about it too, about how this is the game you would probably play him in. But in a way, it makes sense that it wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't come out there.
You didn't need him because Creighton doesn't pressure at all. I don't
yeah,
think they pressed for a second.
that was the big point that I forget who made it, but somebody on Twitter made it. It's like, I think it was Borges actually who was saying that, like, if anything else, Creighton doesn't pressure the ball like St. John's Marquette do. St. John's Marquette are in your face constantly. I feel like Creighton almost made you make the play instead of like getting up in your grill and like forcing you to make a bad pass or something. They made you make the right play because they were really good, like defensively inside. Like Kalkbrenner had a bunch of blocks, and even, I guess Ashworth kind of. I feel like they did a way better job inside than St. John's did, but their perimeter wasn't anywhere close to them. But I mean, each team plays differently, so.
Yeah, that's. For me going in, there's not many games where I just expect a loss with this team because it's Dan Hurley. This was a game I expected a loss.
Yeah,
Just-
but I think there was literally one reason why we didn't lose.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I can nail down that reason. There was a
No.
dude,
And
And
it's
Liam-
the black jerseys.
Liam McNeely.
Some
Liam
black
Legend.
jersey.
Yes, he is.
What a horrible 3
8
matchups.
points. 38 points for Liam McNeely. 10 boards, another double-double. Just
I think that was the second highest scoring game for a freshman this year.
in the
Behind somebody named Cooper. I've never heard of him.
Behind his buddy.
Yeah, never heard of this other guy. But I mean, yeah, Liam. I mean, like you can't like he won the game. There was, in my opinion, the defense was really good. I liked how every time Kalkbrenner would kind of slip into that post position, someone would come up, whether it was Stewart or Sampson did a really good job of it.
Yeah,
They just whacked
the
it,
doubles.
and that was like 3 or 4 turnovers. We got what stat we got wrong, Oliver? Oh, he had 38, not 30.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
6.
brutal. I can fix it though.
All right, yeah, well, thanks, Oliver.
Oh, shoot. We got it wrong.
I hope it
Yeah.
changes. If it doesn't change, that's brutal. Like I don't know if
You're
it changes since
the
we're
wrong
currently
number.
live.
We can hope. We can hope. But yeah,
I don't
Liam's
think it'll
38.
change.
I think that was the most by a UConn freshman ever, too.
I mean, it has
In
to
the
be.
past 30 years, it said.
They said Khalid Alamin had
I think Rip was in there somewhere. I
said
think.
Alamin had some crazy number too.
Connor, you were right. I didn't think about this till like midway through the game with the black jerseys, the cursed black jerseys,
Well,
a
because
place that we were winless in, and then our notorious streak of going live after games. Three
two
wrongs has to make
negatives
a
equal a
right.
positive. So just us going live plus never winning in Omaha means
Yeah,
it's a
that
It is a
win,
was
win.
and it's
We
a
did
and the
get
win.
a win
cursed
line.
black jerseys that aren't actually cursed. They have a winning record, but still.
Trying to see all-time points in a game because I don't know who that is either.
First
Gonna
Big
be
East freshman to have 35 in a game in a conference game since 2007. 35 plus, I should say.
Wow.
all right, here we go.
We will get fully underway in a few moments here, letting a few more people join in. Maybe no one else will join in because it's 11:43.
On a Sunday.
Yeah, all you
Okay.
It's not a
sickos
Sunday.
that are staying up with us. Thank you.
So Liam jumped to basically third in all-time points in a game.
For UConn in a single game?
Yeah, for
That's-
UConn.
There's no way that's true.
That is true.
Unless
38.
because Book Knight had 40, Bryma had 40. You're telling me those are about like
It's those two, and
that's really
Kemba had 42 in 2010, and that's it.
that's crazy.
Ray Allen and Ben Gordon and AJ Price and Kemba had 36
That's
below
nuts.
that. And how many shots did he make? Like
12 of 22, 5 of 10 from 3. So he wasn't just chucking shots up. He was efficient.
12. It's not top 10 in field goals. Oh yeah, Caravan, sports psychologist. Part of me feels like something's wrong.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know. I hate saying that things are unfixable, but I mean that's clearly it's an internal issue, and I don't know how you fix it. Honestly, I don't know how you would fix it. If there's a way to fix it, then I would love to know, and can we please get it to him? But I mean, I don't understand it. I've never seen anything like this.
I mean,
I think sorry to cut you off,
no,
Conrad,
you're
but I
good.
wanted to mention how I think Hurley is doing a great job as a coach with this because by the way that he is involved in the games and the situations that he's in, you wouldn't even be able to tell. I mean, he's like that one possession where he missed three in a row, all wide open, his typical deep shots. I mean, nobody really seemed upset about the fact that he was taking them. And towards the end of the game, when we needed free throws to put it away, who was the guy on the block getting the rebound going to the line? I mean, Hurley puts him in the same scenarios as he always has. I think it's just a matter of letting him figure it out over time. It's just a shame that this is happening because we probably could have won this game by double digits. But I
Yes,
mean,
definitely.
even though he wasn't shooting well, he did affect the game other ways. But it's definitely a major problem that he needs to check up.
In our last show, I crunched the numbers. I don't remember what it was. Like his 3-point shooting since he rolled his ankle in that Creighton game, it wasn't great. Just add an 0 for 7 to that total now, so getting even worse. But how many people have we got in here? Is it? I think we're good to start. We got 9. I don't think we'll get
Yeah.
that much higher than that, honestly,
11,
for the
yeah.
late one. But I guess we're up to 11 actually now. So thank you guys again for joining us very late on the East Coast. Maybe some of you aren't on the East Coast. I don't know, but we are. But I guess we'll just start with pregame, before the game, the starting lineup. I want to hear your guys. Obviously, Hassan Diarra is injured, so that's a factor. But your thoughts on that? Us going pretty much no true point guard and having Liam McNeely have those ball handling responsibilities.
I mean, I think it might be a preview for what's to come, honestly. If Hassan Diarra is this hurt and it's something you can't really necessarily get better from in the season, I think we're going to see this a lot more. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the bigs, but I want to hear what Matt has to say, too.
And I mean, they asked Hurley, I'm pretty sure, whether it was pregame or maybe a little early on in the game. They're like, "What's going on? Like, where's Haas?" And he basically said that, like we were talking about before, the lack of pressure from Creighton. We're not going to be turning it over any more than we already would. Why put Haas out there and turn the ball over and kill his confidence even more when, I mean, Liam could just do it essentially. And I mean, putting him in that position to kind of bring the ball up and kind of be the man on offense. I mean, it was one that paid off in a way that I don't think we've ever seen before as Huskies fans. Just in a single game, getting a win. It it's awesome to kind of see him bloom like that. And I mean, hopefully this isn't the last time that we get to see him play this sort of role.
Yeah, Liam averaging 38 points per game as a point guard this season, so that's funny to say. But yeah, I feel like if Hassan Diarra is healthy or healthier, I feel like he would stay in the lineup. Stewart would be the guy to go out. But Stewart's played well as of late. He hit a three in this one. What did he finish with? 5 points, I think, not much, but he played his role well. I'm pulling up. I should have the box score ready. I think he played 30 minutes in this one. I said I don't think he's going to play near 30 minutes at all with McNeely and Caravan in the mix. Well, Caravan was in the mix. McNeely back in the mix, I should say. But he played pretty well defensively. He didn't really have any miscues. Just Stewart's a guy who I feel like we talked about this before the season, him and Jaden Ross, that whole debate. I feel like Stewart's kind of what we thought Jaden Ross would be in a way on both ends. We thought Ross would be a guy that can almost be a little bit of a microwave on offense. I mean, he's not Hawkins-like, but like a guy who can put up a handful of points in a small period of time. I thought maybe that'd be Ross, but it seems like Stewart has kind of taken that role, going back to that Marquette game early on, the St. John's game. He had early points. Just really impressed with Stu, especially on the defensive end too.
I feel like it should have been this way all season. I feel like that initial quote from Hurley at Big East Media Day kind of swung everybody one way when I feel like everything that we had already seen was that Stewart was going to be this kind of spark plug off the bench, come inside and come inside the starting lineup and kind of just slip in there, and we would lose Caravan and Stewart would be our starter next year, and it really started to look like that. I think that at the end of this year, we will kind of have Stewart there as that starter.
The consistency of everything this year has just been so weird. I feel like last year and kind of even the year before in some cases, you knew exactly what you were getting. But I feel like this year you just put the guys out on the court and you just have no idea what is going to happen. I mean, who had Liam McNeely scoring 38 points tonight? Sure as hell wasn't me. So I feel like that's kind of the beauty of this team, though, because obviously, like last year's team was fun, but you knew what you were getting. This year, at tip-off, you're like, here we go. Let's see what happens. And I feel like that makes the games more fun to watch, honestly.
Looking at some comments here, Huskies back? Question mark. Where'd they go? I mean,
Yeah, that's my friend Ian.
they won at Marquette, lost against a very good St. John's team, ranked higher than them at home by 6, and then go to Omaha and win. McNeely 9 free throws. Call that a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. 9 free throws against Creighton's nuts because they average like 11 free throws given per game because they don't foul. That's funny.
9 out of 10. No, like the discrepancy from Creighton to you. I mean, how many free throws did they have? Like 30?
Well,
Yeah,
we
that
foul an
was
ungodly amount compared to like the country. That's not just like a like. I'm the most shocking stat for me, looking at a 4-point win for us, is that Samson Johnson and Terrace Reed combined to play 26 minutes, and Kalkbrenner played 40. You had 14. Singari played a minute. 13 minutes where you didn't have a center in against Ryan Kalkbrenner. Caravan was tasked with those duties. That's obviously we've seen him play some small ball last year at the 5, but that's nuts that we were able to hold Kalkbrenner down for that long. He only finished with
Caravan's
13.
defense was so good on him. So good.
And it's not stuff you'd see in the box score, but just like getting positioning and limiting his ability to catch the ball. Like there was some times they were trying to force it down into Kalkbrenner. They couldn't get it to him, and they were forced to throw up a bad 3. Just Caravan, he's not hitting threes. He went 0 for 7. I put it on the graphic there on this live because I feel like it's important. He went 0 for 7. He had that one stretch where he went 0 for 3 on one possession that I don't think any of us will forget anytime soon. But I mean, he's doing other stuff. He had a couple big offensive rebounds and he put back. He hit he didn't hit that free throw at the end, but he got that board. I was worried maybe he wouldn't get that board late and they would have tipped it in. Whatever. We've seen that movie before. I feel like, but Caravan's still not playing poorly. I mean, if he was just a shooter, which he's not, he wouldn't be playing 38 minutes in the midst of this slump. He's so much more than that for this team. If he's going to unlock it at some point, he's not going to be a guy that's going to shoot this bad the rest of the year. But I don't know. It's a little worrisome that it's still going on this long.
I definitely think that the game plan from last video from last game is the exact same as this one. I mean, let Jemiah Neal beat you. He wasn't going to drop 30 again. And it kind of seemed like that's kind of where we went. He took the most shots for them tonight. He had 6 threes, 12 shots, both most on the team, and he wasn't able to kind of take over the game like he was the first time. And I feel like this was kind of a preview of how that game would have gone if it went according to plan, but you can never go back in time, change that kind of thing. So, being able to limit Kalkbrenner and Ashworth, it's not easy, but I think Hurley's kind of been able to do it here this season, and it makes me a little less afraid of them going into the Big East tournament. I think Hurley's done a fantastic job scouting this year, scouting other teams because he knows that we don't have 7 NBA players this year, and he's gonna have to coach his ass off. And I mean, he's done just that. 2 big road wins, Marquette and Creighton here, and you kind of just gotta clean up here a little down the stretch. And I mean, you're looking at a 2 or 3 seed maybe.
Yeah, this if we lost this game, which mentally I was fully prepared to talk about because like I said, I expected it. I mean, we're not comfortably into the NCAA tournament right now. Before this game, I feel like we're further up. We should be good. But say we lost, what were we, 16-7? Say we're 16-8. I doubt we're sweeping Marquette St. John's for the last 2 times we play them this year. So that's another loss. Are we winning the Big East tournament? Probably not. That's 10 losses. I imagine we'll drop a game we should, and that's 11 losses. I mean, we're good now because we won this, and this is not really a talking point. But that was my mind going into this. Like, what if we look at bracketologies, which don't matter, on February 11th, and see, like, UConn's amongst the last 4 in, or in Dayton in the first 4, something like that. It's just, we're not used to that, but I feel like this win cements us as firmly a tournament team as of today, but it's just food for thought, I guess, how close we were to maybe not fully collapsing, but falling off.
It was a must win, 100%. I mean, I don't like saying that games in February are must wins, but it was a must win for a lot of reasons. Obviously the big talking point is that nobody has ever won there. Well, Danny Hurley's never won there. None of the players on this current roster have won there. We're 0-4 going into it. All these promotions there, dollar beer night and what was it, Creighton Day today? I don't know. Something else was in there.
Was there fan appreciation night or something like that?
Something like that. I knew it was something like that, but just a lot of factors going into it. All the reports about getting banged up and stuff. So I feel like it was just a game that you, more than anything, wanted to win because this is the team that went into your house and beat you. One guy went into your house and beat you pretty much last time. So you had to get your get back and go to the place you never won before and win. So that's exactly what they did.
I think
Unranked, too.
I think with Liam back now, I mean, looking at the schedule, we just kind of went over it a little bit. It's hard to see where we're going to drop 2 in a row again, or even maybe 1 game. You got Holland Nova, both games I think you should win with Liam, especially at home against Nova. You win Hall, you win that. Go to MSG. Don't lose at MSG, really, ever. Georgetown, Prov, it's 2 more wins. And then the last big one's Marquette at home. I just I don't know where this team slips up again. And I feel like if you can kind of use this last stretch of these last eight or so games and kind of take that momentum going into March, I just I think we're in a good spot. I think with how we started, I think right now, if you told me that we were to be here, I'd be more than happy and very confident. I think you needed this game against Creighton because if you didn't get it, and you don't really know where you're going to end up going, like you said.
Yeah, having 7 losses is not what we're used to based off last year. We lost 3 games all year, but we're 9-4 now in the Big East. That's very respectable for, I feel like, this group. Not full of, I guess, the Avengers we had last year with Newton, Castle, Spencer, Klingon, Caravan. I feel like that's pretty close to an Avengers, but we don't have that this year. We have guys playing new roles in a way. Diarra as the starting point guard, McNeely is just a freshman. Castle was too. They're both very special talents. Sampson starting for the first time. Solo Ball really playing for the first time. No one expected us to run the table in the Big East. I don't think anyone would have. But to be 9-4, that's winning 9 of 13 games. That's pretty impressive for this group. I feel like maybe not based on preseason expectations, but preseason expectations were also included in the fact that we were back-to-back reigning national champions. This is a different roster, and I feel like it took them a little bit of time to gel, and they're still gelling in a sense because I don't think we've seen Aiden Mahaney's full potential. I don't think we've seen Jaden Ross's full potential. Even Jalen Stewart, maybe his full potential. And Caravan, of course, is struggling. But I feel like if it all clicks, and maybe not everyone will end up clicking, that's just not how it works every year. But if 2 or 3 of those guys figure it out, I feel like this team has the potential to make another very deep run in March, especially with the coaching staff behind it. We can talk a little more about the game. I'll check the chat before I do that. See if there's anything new.
It's all just Ian yapping. There's nothing really in there.
Well, you guys can comment stuff in the chat, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
If you guys are still, we are up to 16, which is higher than I thought we'd get tonight,
maybe.
honestly, at midnight, pretty much. But
On a Tuesday.
I want to see the scoring. I believe you when you say that's crazy. Kemba, I don't know. Did we say this on the live or before?
I think we said it, but there was like hardly anybody in here.
So Kemba Walker has the UConn. This is only since 06-07, actually. So according to this list here, so that's probably no, that's definitely not true because Ray's here.
Really?
It says on the bottom complete 06-07 to this year, but Ray's on the list, so that doesn't make sense.
Okay.
That's weird. But Kemba Walker, 42 points. Amita Brima, 40. James Bouknight against Creighton, 40.
When did Brima have 40?
December 14th.
Just like he just had it on the top of his head.
That. I have zero recollection of Amita Brima scoring 40 points.
He had 40 points in 28 minutes against Coppin State.
Oh.
13 of 13 from the field. 14
Good
of 16
Lord.
from the stripe. Dominant game. Huskies won that game 106-85. Allowed 85 points to 1-9 Coppin State.
Oh.
That was a rough year. That was the year after the title. 2014-15. Sam Cassell started that game. 3 points.
Wow.
Sam Cassell, baby.
But yeah, Liam McNeely, if that list is accurate, which I'm going with it being accurate, he's 4th all-time in a single game in UConn history. That's at least since, we've been good, which is, it's nuts. Because it didn't feel like he had 38. He was just helping the team win. That just happened to be scoring 38 points. I'm coming up from PA to see them play Seton Hall on Saturday. That's good. They need your support. That's another place where we don't win. Newark.
Yeah, please bring good luck with you.
We'll probably bring...
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll wear the black jerseys. Because we wore them there last year and we lost, but we won this game. So what does Hurley value more?
I don't know.
Because he's a very superstitious fella.
I think we go back to back in black. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
why not, right?
Back to back in black. I'm surprised they whipped it out at all at this point, but yeah, I like it personally. I like those jerseys. I like mixing it up.
Me too. I think they're clean.
they've grown on me. I think we talked to Adama about it. Was it Adama when we were like, how do you feel about the jerseys?
It was him or it might have been Polly.
Can't remember who it was.
We talked to somebody about it. I don't remember who it was exactly.
It's
though.
a little weird for me that it's black but has blue, navy blue outlines.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that, but
I was thinking about it as well. If it were to just be white, I feel like it would look corny. And then it can't just be black and red. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe a lighter blue,
we have grays that we don't wear. We have
Yeah, are those just for media day or what?
I mean, if they're for media day, that means they exist. It's just
what were they? I zoned out for a second.
they're light gray jerseys, UConn on the chest.
Dude, why don't we have a all white with gray outline and that's it?
I don't know.
Those would be so fire. Like the Heat had.
I feel like our next jersey, we're going way off track here.
We are.
Being this early into the show technically, but
Our
I feel like we
comments
need
are-
the road throwbacks, the blue Connecticut. I feel like that has to be next.
Absolutely. It's got to be a thing. Honestly, I think we should move on from the UConn altogether. That might be a hot take, but I think we should just move to strictly back to Connecticut.
I agree,
Yeah.
but
It won't happen.
That's the
but-
brand of the university. I feel like that
Yeah.
would take significant
Just Gotta switch the
changes.
logo.
I think,
Switch the logo back too.
it wouldn't happen, unfortunately, because of all that stuff. But
Yeah. Let's get
I
back to this.
don't get me wrong. I love our current jerseys, but I do like the throwbacks more.
Oh yeah.
Throwbacks are just classic, and I feel like the outline, like the red on the throwbacks, are a lot better than our current ones and stuff. I like the red like outlines, but
The red, white, and blue looks good.
let me pull up the play-by-play here just to. So early on, this was a back and forth game, a game that it was okay. We're within like 4 points, 2 points, 4 points, back and forth. They're gonna eventually blow it up, Creighton, and they did. They went on a run. I think what was it, like 14-2 or something like that, to make it a 14-point game, and it was looking pretty bad for the Huskies. I personally said when I was watching, just get it within single digits at halftime, and I'm comfortable. They did. They got it to 37-29, an 8-point game after Liam hit a layup late. But I don't know, just being down 8 on the road in that environment just wasn't something that I thought we'd be able to overcome. Overcome it all, win the game, out of the question for me. I felt like Creighton would come out explosive in the second half, maybe get it up to 20, who knows. But complete opposite happened. Liam McNeely happened. A lot of points from him. That sequence where he hit a couple of threes in a row and you just knew they were going in. That's like, I don't know. We haven't seen that from a guy since Cam Spencer, which is last year. But I know, Matt, you made the comparison. Just the killer instinct he has, he's just a shot maker. I don't know how else to put it. He's a guy who's confident when he shoots it. He can do a lot of things, get to the rim. It's just, this is what we've been missing. I hope this is the start of a revenge tour. Not really revenge, but games Liam missed. Just hopefully he can come back and just beat the teams. Like beat Creighton. Who else did we play? Beat Xavier. All those teams Liam missed. I'm talking for a while here, I know.
Andrew, no hands.
No, he didn't move, so he's fine.
Oh, okay.
But I'll finish my point. All these games we lost without Liam, with Liam, hopefully we win them.
I mean, yeah, if you didn't see from this game that he's our backbone of this team, then I don't know what you're watching. But back to what Connor was saying about the game, when they went on that run, when they got it down to 8 at halftime, I said to my buddy Luke while I was watching with my roommate, and shout out to him, first of all, for dealing with me through all these games. I said to him that I didn't think we were going to win. I figured we'd make a run, but I figured it came down to how we opened the half in general, and we just opened it up pretty nicely. And then Liam just went on his, whatever you call it, McSanity run, I guess.
I don't know if that's it, but we'll go with that for now.
But just something changed in the locker room. I don't know what it was, but they looked like a completely different team. Again, I feel like we say this way too much about this team, but they looked completely different in the second half. And maybe it's because I feel like I always say, if we played like we did in the second half and the first half, we'd be the best number 1 team in the country. But if we didn't play as bad in the first half, we wouldn't play as good in the second half, I feel like. So it's just weird, honestly, more than anything. It's just a weird year.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose so many guys, and you kind of got to figure things out. Now, I mean, Ha's not playing. A little weird. I don't think it's a thing that we kind of got to get used to. I think someone commented on our last video saying that he has tendonitis.
That's
I don't know.
the rumor.
I don't know how.
Just based on the
rumor.
description of the injury.
That stuff doesn't go away.
It doesn't.
He's going to have to play out essentially the rest of his UConn career with it.
Yeah.
And you got to figure it out. You know, you can't. I mean, in a game like this where, I mean, Liam goes off. You can't expect him to drop 40 every night. But I do think we have enough guys where you don't have to worry about that. I don't think AK stinks the rest of the year from 3. I think he gets it together solo. I think he just had a little bit of an off night. Then again, was still like productive. He wasn't a waste of space. But I think this team has enough weapons to where you don't need Liam every night. But when you have him, like he's the best player on the court, and I don't think this is the last time that he's the best player on the court for us, or for either team.
I feel like with Diarra if he can only give you 8 minutes against Seton Hall, I don't think he's gonna play, because there's no reason for him to play 8 minutes in pain against Seton Hall, a game where the Huskies should easily win. What does Seton Hall have? 7 wins on the season, Big East and non-con included. So that's, I mean, we talked about this in our last episode, what we think they should do with Diarra, because Hurley talks about potentially like letting him rest for a week or two. Sit him that Seton Hall game, and then your next game is next Tuesday after that against Villanova. That's a game where maybe you play him, but maybe it could be something like this with 8 to 10 minutes just to be a guy to give some other guys some rest. But then that game against St. John's the following Sunday, I feel like you want him to play as much as he can. If that's only 20 minutes of like productive time, I feel like that would be a bonus, because St. John's is the team that presses pretty much the whole time. We saw it last Friday. So having a ball handler, a guy who we're somewhat confident in, I feel like, because he's had a rough stretch the past few games, but I feel like the overall consensus is we're pretty confident in Diarra having the ball in his hands. Having that option against St. John's, as strong as he can be, I feel like would be very important. So if I had it my way, I would maybe sit him for the next game or two to have him fully ready for that game in now 11 days against St. John's.
Getting a well in there. I don't know where he is. I don't understand.
He was healthy today.
I don't understand for the life of me why he hasn't played. I'm not saying that he should have played a crap ton in this game, but like in games coming up, like Villanova, Seton Hall, like throw him in there. See what he's got. I mean, you're never going to see what the kid's got in gameplay if you don't play him, so I don't understand.
I think tonight kind of unlocked this new lineup. I think the fact that it worked so well might lead us down this path again. I mean, that St. John's game, you need Diarra with the ball, but RJ Lewis isn't going anywhere on offense, and I feel like just having McNeely out there at the one, I feel like that can make a huge difference. Not the whole game, not the starting lineup, but even if that lineup's out there for 15 minutes, I just want to see what kind of damage that will do against a huge St. John's team.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right, honestly. I wish I thought of that. That's very smart. I think, honestly, that's what we will see, too. I think Diarra will play in that game, but, yeah, throw McNeely on Lewis. Why not?
I feel like in this game, a big part that we haven't really touched upon, because we didn't turn it over much. 6 turnovers. Obviously, you're not going to turn over as much when they're not pressing, but that was a very big issue for us the past 2 games that we were lucky to squeak out 1-1. 47 in 2 games to maybe I don't want to point any fingers, but maybe Diarra playing 8 minutes is the reason we had 6 turnovers. I don't think that's the case, but I don't know. It's just I'm really impressed to see the composure we had even when we were down, and it felt like we were done because it's at Creighton, but the guys never gave up. McNeely, they did rely on him a bit, but I mean the other guys didn't have great nights. Like you said, Matt, you're not going to need McNeely to score 30 plus every game, but you're also not going to have Caravan and Ball combined to go 0 for 11 from 3 every single game. There's going to be some sort of meet in the middle moment there, but I'm just shocked that Stephen Ashworth didn't connect on any of his threes, especially that last one that was pretty much in.
That was it, dude. I mean, that's how it goes. Ashworth doesn't hit a 3 all night.
It's the script.
And then with 20 seconds left, he just chucks one in. I knew it. Like, even when we were at the line, I'm like, we're going to miss one. He's going to get a chance. And I closed my eyes, just hoping that it didn't happen. And literally the whole time my eyes were closed. And he missed. And I was just...
And at the end... When Liam was taking, it was the 1-1, I believe Liam was taking to make it. We're up 68-66. I said he has to hit at least the first one, but definitely both, because say he misses the first one, I know with 3.4 seconds, Stephen Ashworth is hitting a half-court shot for the win, and we are losing this game in the most shocking, dramatic fashion ever. But thankfully, McNeely did not pull a Caravan, and he hit his free throws. And they were able.
The Caravan.
I hate saying that, but they kept on referencing it in the broadcast. Like, he hasn't. One of the color commentator, Steve Lapis, made a good point saying he hasn't really been the same since that Villanova game, and I feel like that's true. That's really a good place to. If you're gonna place a marker since he really started struggling that game. He just hasn't been himself. Maybe it's a mental thing. I don't know. I don't I'm not Alex Garrett. I don't know, but I'm not worried about him because we've seen him hit clutch shots and we know he can. It's just weird to see him, a guy who we thought would be this consistent guy, not be the consistent guy.
I just thought it was really weird how Hurley was like, go brush off your two national championship rings and just be at practice.
I mean, because he's right. Like, it's not the
That's
end of
not
the world.
that's not what he does. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
it just feels weird. It
I
feels
just think I think the 3-point shot's not his game anymore. I mean, the defense he played tonight was really good, and the takes that he had to the lane, like the floaters were pretty good, the short layups were good. I just think honestly that he should stop shooting the three. Leave that to Liam. In all honesty,
no, you need him to shoot because
I
then that
know, but it's just
offense
like
without Haas can't shoot and he can't play. Liam is not going to score 40 every night, and then Stu is Stu. You need him to show up. If he shows up, it makes things a lot easier, and then you're missing out on the three at the big man spot. So if you have two guys out of your five that can shoot, you're not going to win, especially in how this big East is with all these awesome players. It's going to be hard. I just don't know. I think you need to find ways to win expecting that he's not going to be that same guy, that same shooter.
It
I think you
pains me
need
that our centers can't even think about shooting a three.
Samson did back in the day. I
I
don't
know.
know.
It's just like Kalkbrenner. We only really see this with him as the rim protector. Terrace Reed's holding the ball, and there's no one within like 12 to 15 feet of him. Because he's not shooting it when he has it at the top of the key. It's just. And it's not a knock on either of our centers. It's just, I wish we had that in our bag. Like, Sonogo had it in his bag, where you can't guard Sonogo like that. He is a threat to actually knock it down once in a while, or twice in a while if you're starting a Final Four game. Klingon unlocked it a little bit as well late, but he wasn't really a threat. It's just, Ryba is going to be completely different next year. I don't want to look at next year right now because there's still a lot to do this year. But you can't guard, and I think Kalkbrenner's done unless they think of a new degree or a new, like, he's going to be Dr. Ryan Kalkbrenner or something. I think he's done after this year, so we won't have that exact thing to worry about. But you can't guard our centers like that if Robert's in the game because he's a guy who can knock down threes. Even if he's not efficient, he's a guy you have to at least respect out there. So that's something to look forward to next year, I guess. But it just pains me to see Sampson and Terrace holding the ball and no one's near them, and they can't. We're not going to do anything about it because they're not going to shoot it. They've got to continue to hand the ball off.
It took these guys 2 years to put it together. It took Sonogo from his sophomore to junior year to shoot. I mean, maybe
yeah,
at the end of his sophomore year, he kind of, and then spent the whole offseason. Came out in his junior year and was a little bit better. Same with Klingon after his freshman year. He didn't shoot at all his freshman year, and then came out his sophomore year, in some certain situations shooting, and he developed it. Samson's been here for 4 years on the bench. Hasn't like what has he been doing this whole time? What is it? I felt like it was like gonna happen where Samson was gonna play big minutes. You after 4 years, you didn't train him for 6 months on shooting jump shots. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand.
I mean, to be fair, Sonogo's jump from sophomore to junior year was so drastic. I mean, his sophomore year, he was Adama possession stops here, Sonogo. I mean, he kind of got the ball in the post and shut his eyes and just threw it up there. But even he, like, with the three, it still kind of looked unnatural. And it, like, him and Klingon weren't spot up shooters by any means. Klingon's first one that he made was wide open in a game where we were up by about 160. And Sonogo, he definitely shot it more, I feel like, but he's also different than Samson. Samson's got really long, skinny arms, and I feel like it's very hard for him to shoot. Klingon's body is, I feel like, just different than Samson's as well. Like, his is, I don't know, it kind of just fits him well. Samson's just this tall, skinny, lanky guy. Like, even watching him try to dribble, it's just like, holy Moses. But I feel I don't understand either, especially for someone like Terrace. I feel like he could definitely shoot a three. But Samson, I don't think so.
Pull up the
I feel
chat.
like
Or you can go, Matt, as I'm pulling this up.
I was gonna say, I just feel like these past few years, it's been something that the other team may not have expected. That is the reason that we go so deep in March. I think teams didn't think Andre Jackson could play point guard. And I think that caught a lot of guys off guard. And I didn't think teams could think Adama could shoot. How many times in that run were the first like three buckets and Adama three and like a dunk
Pretty
or something
often.
like that? I felt like it was almost every game we would come out and Adama would hit like two out of four threes and the other team would have no idea what to do.
Well,
And it would be over.
that was the Miami game in
Yeah,
particular. Like Snogo hit his first two threes, and
He was also very good dribbling the ball too for
he
a
was
big
awesome.
because he's not a center.
no,
He's a power forward. He only played center because he was so dominant in the post. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a power forward. He was for his size, he was very good dribbling as well.
the combine did him dirty. What do they call him? 6'6" and three
Yeah,
quarters or something
that
like that.
was
Obviously, that's his height. That's his height, but it just shows how dominant he could be at that size. He was listed at I think 6'9" when he was here, which makes sense. But
He was awesome, man. I'm looking at this team and it's like you didn't know where it was coming from. I feel like with this team, it's just a little predictable. I feel like there is something that you need to switch, and I feel like today, could have been the start of that. I don't know, that McNeely point guard thing. It might not just be better for the team right now, but I mean, even in June, July, when he's looking to get drafted, and they know that he can handle the ball and he can facilitate a little bit along with his scoring and his basketball IQ and his defense. I mean, he could be a top five pick. It's a little crazy to
I
say,
see in
but
these mock drafts he's falling a bit, like since his injury. But I feel like
Mhm.
he's back on the map now. He's a guy who came in as a guy that would be a one and done lottery pick. I don't think his status has changed there. I mean, it helps if we win, go deep into March. Like Stephon Castle, I don't think anyone really had as the fourth overall pick going into probably even the NCAA tournament. He's definitely a lottery pick type of guy. But the way he performed in the tournament, he had 20 something against Alabama, just solid defense all throughout. Klingon, we knew he'd probably be first round, lottery maybe. I don't think anyone saw him at 7 going into the season. Just obviously those are two extreme examples, but I could easily see Liam McNeely being picked in the top 10, especially because he's not the biggest dude, but he's still 6'7" and can shoot the ball nearly lights out. 50% in this game, shooting great all year. I just feel like teams value that in a more positionless NBA, especially if he can run some point guard. He's not going to be a guy that averages 6 assists per game. Maybe he is. I don't think so though. But it's just I feel like this is an opportunity for him to expand his game and maybe at the same time expand his draft stock a bit.
I think it definitely adds to that unpredictability factor. I think being predictable is your biggest weakness, and I think without Liam, this team became a little bit predictable. And now that you have him back, I mean, you have so many different opportunities here to kind of switch things up. I liked that lineup with no big man in it, and I think that we should definitely do that again because they were saying it a bunch. Kalkbrenner had to come out, and he couldn't sit in the paint. And then the super physical Big East with tons of great 7 foot big men, you're getting beat up, and you need to be able to allow guys like AK to kind of slide into the paint, make a floater, solo to get a layup, and I mean just hit Liam and he'll make something happen.
And you say you like the lineup, which I agree. And this is the worst team to probably deploy it against because it's Kalkbrenner. Kalkbrenner, there's a lot of great bigs in the Big East, but none as good, I feel like, as Ryan Kalkbrenner. So if we have success with that lineup in this game, maybe it's something we'll experiment. Especially, this is going back to my earlier point of Jalen Stewart's a guy that can actually play, like a guy that can produce. Because you could play him at the, I guess, technically like the 4 or the 3, whichever you want to call it. Caravan out there, McNeely, solo ball, and then Diarra if he's healthy enough. Mahaney, I feel like didn't. He had some bad fouls, but like I'm still on the Aiden Mahaney train. I'm never gonna get off the Aiden Mahaney train. He confidently drives to the hoop, and that's enough for me. If he gets blocked, he gets blocked. But I don't know. Mahaney? What's your guys' thoughts on him? I guess I'll ask you guys that. I mean, we're now 24 games into the season. I,
I feel like he's kind of found a role a little bit like that Calcaterra role, which I mean he can be so much more than that, but I feel like
off and
now
on, really.
it stinks now because there's no Haas, and you need a guy out there like that who could at least dribble up the court. And I mean, once we pass half court, we don't need anybody dribbling anyway. So it's very reliant on screens and picks and quick passes, and I think that he'll find his way into the offense even more. But I mean, he's going to be that 4 to 10 point a game guy for us, I think, and I think he'll have a game where he has 15 or 20.
We got a funny Twitter meme courtesy of our friend Pentfield.
That's the black jersey and then the
Yep.
blue.
Yeah.
And Hurley was chirping the Creighton fans. He goes, 2 rings, because they were all standing there after whatever happened last year. I don't even really know still. But of course, a bunch of them had left. So
I'll knock you out.
yeah, I think that wasn't that because like someone said something to his players or about his family or something like that. He didn't just say that to some random
I
kid.
don't know. You know the way the media does early. It's crazy. I think this guy Hugo made a good comment about the pick and roll defense with the bigs and how they just come out and just whack the point guard every time. And it's a foul every time. I mean they work to go over screens, but they need to take a second. I don't know. Like that's a good point. You got to fix that, but
I like the pick and roll defense. It's something we've always done. And it doesn't usually hurt you in a sense that like Sampson goes hedges out and they just find the big immediately because usually the guy who's guarding the guy in the corner like leaks into the paint and protects that. So if you connect on the big either has a guy in front of him or he would have to dish out to the corner for a 3, which not many big men can do. I'm fine with that. What I'm not fine with is you do that. Sampson had one of those situations. I think it was the second foul. You do that and you foul at like half court. Like Sampson gets too handsy at times, and it's something he's gotten better at over the course of the season. But we've seen it the past couple of games where he's been in foul trouble. Like he played 8 minutes against St. John's or something like that, 11 minutes tonight. It's just he's getting his old habits back, and I feel like now's not a good time to be doing that. Now's the time you want to shake all that as you prepare for a run into March. But I don't know. Sampson is a guy who I feel like is really underrated on this team for his offensive ability. He had 2 points in this one. I don't remember how he scored them, but he's a guy who can you know what he's gonna do when he's out there. You know he's gonna foul. And you know he's gonna slam dunks down. So I hate to say it that way, but you know what? In a team full of you don't know what you're getting, you know exactly what you're getting from him.
yeah, I feel like you're playing with the fouls. I feel like you'd rather play against the fouls than play the easy layups game. I think that's how we keep a lot of games so close. Is that you kind of sacrifice a foul just so that they don't get easy buckets, no easy buckets, and I mean it's the Hurley mentality, isn't
Yeah, definitely is.
it?
What else we got here?
I think there's so much to talk about from just like one game. I don't know.
Yeah.
Steph Castle, I mean, people say he should have been the number 1 pick. Going back to that, looking at it now,
I mean, he's rookie of the year.
yeah,
Does that mean he's number 1? Probably.
he caused that whole thing with the Kings, or whatever, where Fox was like, I hope they didn't trade him, and all the Kings fans are mad at Fox because
Yeah. What did he have? He had 30 something the other night.
he's a star, dude.
It was the same night as our St. John's game, so it went a little under the radar in the UConn world. I'm pretty sure he had
Castle, yeah,
33 off the bench. Yeah, he's a stud.
He's awesome.
He's gonna be participating in a couple of events this All-Star weekend, including the dunk contest. We're gonna talk about this on our next episode, but we'll talk about it now. Who do you guys want to win the dunk contest? Be careful.
Andre.
I think we gotta go with Andre.
I agree. I think Andre is going to win. I would not be mad if Steph the perfect world is they face off against each other in the finals. But I think Mac McClung has a guaranteed finals berth at least, just because he's Mac McClung. But
Dude, Andre is gonna. It's just thinking about. I mean, the athleticism. Give him like a week to think about things and think about what to do. Dude, he is much more athletic than Aaron Gordon, and we saw what Aaron Gordon did. I don't know, man. I think it's time.
Buzelis doesn't scare me at all, and that's why he's going to be the guy to like either win or knock out both of our guys.
Yeah,
That's just how it works. But
it's in the writing.
I have to agree, Andre. Just his explosiveness. He's gonna get his head like even with the top of the backboard or something. I don't know. Just
He's got to do the who did it? Dwight Howard when he put the rim to like 12 feet.
Andre could get up there.
Oh, he could.
But he's got to do that. Do like a windmill, like 11.5 or something.
I'm curious what Castle's gonna do because you don't think of him as like a high flying first guy like you do.
He had
Andre.
some crazy dunks last year, though.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like him versus a guy like Hawkins. Hawkins had a bunch of crazy ones, but he had to get a really good jump. Castle had some like standing start good flushes.
Yeah.
Just remember the Seton Hall game where he crossed up like 4 people and then he yammed it.
Hopefully no one dunks over Kai Cenat this year.
Be impressive. Time for a top 10 rank? Probably not.
It's Luke. It's my friend Luke. All my friends are here.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not.
They'll be ranked again as long as they don't, not even going to say it.
He doesn't know, so let's just say Seton Hall's involved.
Yeah. If they win their next game, they'll be back in the top 25.
Versus whoever that may be against and wherever that game may be.
Yes. Is Castle in the Rising Stars?
He is. So Castle has the ability to play in the All-Star game. I don't know if you guys fully understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the winner of the Rising Stars is one of the 4 All-Star teams. So.
And it's like a tournament.
I saw on FanDuel, Stephon Castle has All-Star game MVP odds.
Yeah, that's
which is crazy. It's like.
It is crazy.
I was confused why I was there, and I remembered, oh, that's right, because they're doing that. But, yeah.
Last night, too, Klingon.
21, perfect from the field, 8 of 8.
Yeah.
Against
Job.
Jokic.
They got their ass beat, though.
Oh, the Blazers.
They got their ass beat. But I'm surprised they didn't move someone, because they gotta play him. Is he in the game, too?
No. I don't think so. No. Should be, but he's not.
I'm gonna look it up. I don't know who those rosters are.
They're not great.
That
was just my opinion.
All-Stars.
They're not great.
Castrol Rising Stars.
We'll go around the Big East. We're probably almost done here. It's 12:30 in the morning. Marquette beat DePaul 68-58. That's not that surprising.
Wow.
Probably closer than you'd think, but
yeah,
the result.
They lost. Wait, they were in the same cycle as us.
They've lost 3 in a row against. It's weird how we're all playing each other right now.
I was just thinking that. They played us, St. John's, and Creighton, and funny enough, DePaul, and then we played DePaul, Marquette, Creighton, St. John's. That's so weird.
Creighton plays St. John's Sunday too. I'm pretty sure. It's weird how.
What in the?
It's the gauntlet. I believe that was the only Big East game tonight. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. No, I'm not wrong because St. John's plays Nova tomorrow. Xavier plays Providence.
Yeah, Klingon's not in this, but there is a G League team featuring Pat Spencer.
Yeah. Reed Shepard's on that team too, which I don't understand.
Where's Cam?
He should be there. They should have the brothers. Cam had 50-something in a G League.
Mac McClung's on the team. It says he has 0 points.
You see who had a triple-double last night or the night before?
Book night.
No, James Book night.
Oh,
the first in
18, 10, and 10.
Rip City remix history, the first one.
Get him back to the league.
Newton's he's been balling down there too. Not as of late, but I remember early on when he got to the Wolves. Maybe he has been as of late. I just haven't seen. But
yeah, none of these guys really. Are these their NBA stats? I don't understand. They have to be.
Probably.
J.D. Davidson is on the team.
All-star J.D. Davison. Imagine turning on the NBA All-Star game and watching J.D. Davison and Mac McClung against LeBron and Steph Curry.
This team's going to get destroyed.
There's no way they're actually playing. the NBA is so stupid.
Because they have the three All-Star teams, which I think
oh God, that's right.
I like it. I do like it. I do.
Mix it up. I'm not a big fan of doing it for the All-Star game, But like mix it up the rising stars, why not? But
Yeah.
I think we are almost done. We'll go do some last thoughts about this Creighton game. Just domination from Liam
Much
McNeely.
needed. I mean, I feel like
Much
that's
needed. That's
the main thing is just much needed.
a
He didn't
must
want to
win
lose
that you
two in a
didn't.
row like that, and especially at that place to that team, just needed it.
A must
Oh, yeah.
win that you had no business winning. Pretty much is how I'm
Yeah.
looking at it.
Yeah, that saved our season, I think. I think if you
Yeah.
lose that one, you kind of go down a rabbit hole here of a bunch of losses. But
This was one of like I'd say the big two road games. Like us, that's this game and Marquette. Because St. John's, they're great, but it's the Garden. We're gonna have mad fans there. The other teams aren't that good, even though we lost at Xavier and at Nova, so that's probably not a good thing to say. But I'd say this one and the Marquette one were the two biggest, toughest road tests, and we went 2-0. Like if I were to tell you, we in this 3-game stretch we just had, we'd go 2-1. You probably wouldn't guess the one loss would be at home to St. John's. Just this team continues to surprise us, which is why I feel like they could maybe make some noise in a couple of, not pretty
it
much a
felt like
month from now.
felt like a tournament game for sure.
Yeah.
That was kind of the feeling I had.
Yeah, I shouldn't be watching regular season basketball the way I watched that game.
No,
But
it was crazy. That was a great one.
All right, I think that's pretty much all. We're gonna, unless you guys got any closing thoughts, remarks.
no, just the break of a lot of curses.
Yeah.
It is. And Liam, I mean, that's his second game back.
Yeah, welcome back.
I want to see what he does again. Watching just for Liam. Just playing, but I'm sure people will.
Yes. I'm just seeing if there's any updates on like Twitter about maybe DR or something that we haven't touched upon.
Oh yeah, and in case anybody thought there was any shot he comes back next year, no shot now.
No.
This
Why?
performance alone will make an NBA team.
Oh,
keep
Liam.
him.
I thought you were talking about Haas. Do any of these guys have fifth years?
That's done.
Yeah, it's
Like
over
COVID
now.
year at least, that's done.
You can do a grad, I thought, though.
From my knowledge, unless it's changed, if you do a grad, you can't do it at the same school.
Because, well, he didn't start with us. We would have guys come in. Did Perv do 5?
No, he was NC State, and then gap year, and then 3. I think.
He played one at NC State in 12-13. He sat our
Gibbs
title
was
year.
the same way.
RJ was 3. But
We
with the
did-
NIL, I guess, yeah, the 5th year is like over.
RJ got a COVID year. Pretty sure.
Wow,
Because
yeah.
I'm pretty sure if you sit a year, you can only play 3. It used to be that way.
What about Whaley and Pauly? Is that a COVID thing too?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
They were
wow.
all 5 straight through.
It's crazy that the COVID year's out of style now.
Yeah. Freshmen are going to be a thing again, as we see with
Yeah.
McNeely.
Yeah, the only one who could get it is Sampson, and I don't think he can.
No, because he was... Last year was the last wave of seniors.
Yep.
I think this Hugo guy is the same guy that commented last time about the Nemhard thing. And I don't know if he's serious.
I got out of it. I'll have to pull it back up. I do remember that comment now that I read it. Tristan Newton doesn't think he was a good fit in Indy. I trust Tristan Newton. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Minnesota is not a great fit either, though, because they don't play anyone outside of like 8 guys. But we're at 18 people, it says. It's like the most. I don't think we should end. But like, we should
20
end.
now. I feel like Mark probably just ended. Probably.
Mark just ended. They all file over to us.
Here they all come.
We've been on for like an hour. We're up to 20.
Yeah, 58 minutes.
So I guess the next time you guys hear from us, I'll ask you guys able to do like a Seton Hall preview / dunk contest preview type thing over the next
Yes.
couple of days? So you'll
Yes.
hear from us then about that. That should be a lot of fun because we're not just going to talk about Seton Hall the whole time because hopefully we don't have to. We'll do some dunk contests. I do want to whip up another trivia like the one we played, the one with like guessing the teams.
Yeah.
years. I'll probably do that. That'll come out later this week for you guys. And yeah,
Maybe a
we're
little
just
all-star thing, all-star themed.
we could do that. I'll look into it. Any last chats before we wrap up here? No, I think that'll do it here for this live stream. Don't know if we'll hit any more live streams this year. Maybe we can squeeze one in. We'll figure it out. We enjoy doing.
I would like
these.
to, but we'll see for sure.
I'd like to do
We're not
one.
gonna say no, but we're not gonna say yes.
Yeah, I'd like to do one that doesn't start at 11:30 Eastern.
Yeah.
However we do that, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely like to do another one. So we'll definitely try to.
But yeah, to anybody who is still in here at 12:37 in the morning on the East Coast, spending your time talking about a game with us, thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Real ones.
I'm usually asleep by now. Matt's not.
I'm not.
You usually send random texts at like 3 a.m. to our chat about something random.
Yeah.
Random brainstorm. Random midnight brainstorm.
So yeah, that'll do it here for our second live stream of the year. Officially wrapping it up now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out Liam McNeely. And yeah, that's it. I got to figure out how to end this.